Hello, welcome to Daniel Reviews. I'm Daniel Goodwin. Today we're looking at the Makita XGT 40-volt air duster. The filter's in the back. It's fairly easy to open up and get it out. You have different modes. You can choose to power it to a lower level. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but you can, and you can increase it all the way up to max power, which is really the only thing you're probably going to run this at. This can be sold as a bare tool or as part of a kit. I bought it as a bare tool because I already had some batteries for the XGT lineup, and it didn't make sense to purchase as a kit. It's got a lock. You can prevent yourself from turning it on. I don't know why you would need that. It seems rather silly. It's not like it's a gun. It's not really dangerous to pull the trigger, but if you put the lock on, you cannot turn it on. It does also have the ability to, let's see, gotta figure out how to lock it so that it stays on. That's kind of silly. I also can't really think of a reason why you'd need to do that, but it's there, and you know, there's no harm in having it. It's got a little light on there in case you need to illuminate what you are blowing it at. Otherwise, it's just a really handy air tool. It's like having a compressor hose. And it's very useful for some very specific purposes. What are those purposes? Glad you asked. You can use it to blow stuff off, get the sawdust off of you. So the main thing I use this air tool on is my Dyson V10. Between my wife and I, we both run this vacuum daily. We have 2 dogs, 4 humans in the house. So it gets a lot of use, and it fills up with a lot of nasty stuff. And okay, so you can probably see there is all kinds of dog hair and nastiness inside of this thing. I'm not going to open it up or it'll just dump everywhere. If you look at the filter, you can kind of see that it is coated with dust and everything. Real pain to get clean. Let's get the 40 volt and get this thing fixed. All right, this should be pretty quick. Whoops. You can see all the dust on it. I don't know if it'll come through very well, but that is night and day difference. This is ready to go right now. I don't have to sit and let it dry. I don't have to do anything with it. It is good to go. All back together, and it is ready to go at 100%. Makes a huge difference. What does it come with as far as tips? Well, it comes with a bunch of bits and bobs, and honestly, I couldn't tell you why you would want to use one over the other. Basically, if the nozzle's too big, find one that's a little bit smaller. But, you know, most of these seem pretty much either they do the exact same thing or they do things that are pretty useless. Here's an example. This one, if you can see it, it's got 5 holes so that it spreads out in a kind of a fan motion. I can't imagine why on earth you'd need that. Seems kind of silly. This obviously is just a cone tip. It's great. It's good width on that. On the unit itself right now, I've got one that's just like this, except it just comes to a narrower opening. This one's kind of similar. It's got like a very narrow tip, but it's also got these slits around the outside, so basically the same thing as before. There's another one that I just dropped that I will get. There's this one, which you can see has a perforation here, so it'd be great for inflating, I don't know, like a balloon or something. Something silly like that, which I doubt you would use a tool like this to inflate a balloon, but yeah, you certainly could if you wanted to. So this tool retails around $170, $180 as a bare tool. Obviously much more if you elect to get it as a battery pack. Is it worth it? Well, that's all up to each person. For me, it was definitely worth it just for the use case that I shared around cleaning out the Dyson, as well as clearing out my Makita shop vac here. I use this air compressor or duster, cleared out. It works really well for that. It's fantastic. It extends the life of my filters, which are very expensive when you're talking about a HEPA filter. And again, like I said, for the Dysons, so it's 100% worth it to me for those use cases alone, and anything else I use it for is just kind of bonus. For other people, it's probably just a luxury tool to have. It's definitely not a go-to. It's not like a saw or a drill or even a sander. It's very special purpose, but it fits a good purpose, and I guess I'd recommend it for that if you have a similar use case.